All right, so let's talk home prices. Home prices in March saw the highest growth in over 15 years, said S&P Chase Shiller Index. So this report comes to us from CNBC. It says home prices were 13.2% higher in March compared with March 2020, according to the S&P Case Shiller Index. That's up from the 12% annual gain in February, marks its 10th straight month of accelerating home prices. Now, we've said for a long time that you can't really compare to, last year, because last year is kind of a weird one. So in this article, let me see if I can find it in 2019. Well, let me get to this quote first. This is from Craig Lazar. He's a managing director and global head of the index investment strategy at S&P DJI. He says, these data are consistent with the hypothesis that the Rona has encouraged potential buyers to move from urban apartments to suburban homes, which I thought that was really interesting. That was kind of the first time that we've heard of that data point. We've talked about previously that people were not moving out of their zip code, that they were staying within their zip code, but moving the types of properties. And this is kind of showing some of that on the data. And you can look into some of the exact stats that they shared here that he's quoting from. It says this demand may represent buyers who accelerated purchases that would have happened anyway over the next several years. Alternatively, there may have been a secular change in preference, leading to a permanent shift in the demand curve for housing. So I thought that was both really interesting. So only 1.16 homes were on the market in April. That's a 20% drop year over year. So according to the National Association of Realtors, 20% drop in inventory year over year, April to April, which, last year, that's kind of interesting because last year specifically, it was low because people were taking their property off the market due to the Rona. So in my own market here, we're at about 50% below in some of the hottest parts of the city. So I thought that was really crazy. I guess it's the next article that compares it year over 2019, but very interesting. Dan, what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I just, because we have a lot of these articles as far as, what, and I think it's interesting. You said the part about a lot of people took their properties off the market when the Rona first hit.
Yep.
I don't recall that specifically, like me personally. Was that a thing? Did we talk about that?
That happened here. There were people that were thinking about selling that no longer put their home on the market, and then people that were on the market that said, let's see what happens when everything started to shut down. But we've kind of places like Colin JJ Cameron, who's watching, that he was deemed essential, so he literally couldn't sell a house that was on the market. So it's interesting to see what's happened with inventory compared to that, especially now that builders are back up building. A lot of builders, they took off. They're like, well, we're not going to be able to build for a month or two. So shut down for a little while. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have a glut of inventory right now. But I just thought that was an interesting comparison year over year, and I'm anxious to see how it plays out over the next several months.
And it's same. And I keep asking this question: is what's it going to take to get more sellers to sell? Like, we're all back. We're comfortable with the Rona now, right? Everyone's fine with the Rona.
If everyone that is worried about finding a place to sell or finding a place to buy when they sell, if they would all just throw their home on the market
everyone would have a place to buy.
Yeah, way closer to balanced.
Yeah, it would. Because that's after reading these articles and seeing and watching all the videos for this week. That's kind of. I think I've been there for a while, but it's kind of where I get is it 100% has to be. I would say 98% has to be. I don't have a place to buy. But if you listed your home, and then the person in the higher, who's right sizing and coming down in price point, and then you're going up in price point. If there's enough of those, it's all going to even out.
Yeah, that GIF image that is like the conspiracy theorist guy, and he's in front of a board and he's like making all these connections and stuff like that. That's what I feel like with all my buyers and the people that are about to list. I have like 8 or 9 properties that are all about to list, and I have all these buyers coming in. I'm like, okay, how can I connect all these dots?
Right,
as easy as possible. So